Alright, good afternoon everyone. My name is Hana and I am the adult fitness student that will be leading you all through warm-up this afternoon. So we got upper body, some core, lower body, we're really getting the whole thing. So we're just going to jump right into it and we're going to start with some stretching of our wrist and hand flexors and extensors. So if you all can take your hand, stick it out and just drop your wrist, and with our other hand we're going to be pulling it and feeling a nice stretch right along here. So we're just going to be pulling this and holding it for about 5 seconds. So let's count down 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And we're going to take that hand and we're just going to flip it over and we're going to do that stretch again. So we're just going to hold this for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now let's go ahead and do this on our other arm. So we're just going to be doing the same thing, dropping our arm and pulling back. We're going to be feeling our stretch right here, right along our flexors and extensors. We're going to hold that for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and let's turn that over. We got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now the further you bring your fingers back, you'll feel a bit of a stretch in your bicep. But we're now going to move on to a tricep stretch. So we're just going to take our arm up and we're just going to touch our shoulders. So from behind, it's going to be looking just like this. Now with our other hand, we're going to be grabbing it and we're going to just be giving it a tight tug towards the wall behind me. Now you should feel the stretch right here in your triceps. Now let's hold that for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now let's go ahead and do that with the other arm. So we're just going to take that arm back, tap that shoulder, and we're just going to do the same thing. Now we're not grabbing on our elbow, we're grabbing either right above it or right below it. And we're going to be feeling that stretch. Again for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now we're going to be moving into a bicep exercise. So we'll be doing some bicep curls and we're also going to be throwing in an overhead press. So let's just start, do some bicep curls, really just start moving back and forth, taking some steps. And we're now going to add an overhead press. So let's, forgot the word, but we're going to do the bicep curl and we're going to go into that press. And we're going to do this for about 10, 15 more seconds. Alright, and after this stretch, we're going to be doing what I call the UW stretch. That's just because I'm from Washington and I love UW. But we're going to stop and we're going to take our arms out and we're going to put them into a W, show some school pride. And we're going to be taking our shoulders and pinching them back just like this. You're really going to be retracting your shoulder blades so that you're trying to pinch anything. I like to say a pencil, but pinch a pencil between your shoulder blades. Now this stretch is going to be working a lot of our upper back, a lot of our trapezius, and it's also going to be opening up our chest in the front. So we're just going to take our shoulders, push back, and down, and we're just going to hold this. I like to wiggle my fingers when I do this. But once you've gotten a good stretch, we're going to now take our hands and we're going to bring them together, and we're going to be rounding our back and really pushing our shoulders towards the wall in front of us. So from the side, it's going to look a bit funky, but we're going to be taking that W and really reaching towards that wall. Now let's go back and let's do that W again, really reaching for the wall behind me, pinching that pencil. We're going to hold this for about 5 seconds. 3, 2, and 1, and let's do that same thing in the front, where we're really bringing our elbows together, really feeling that stretch on our back. Alright, next exercise, we're going to start moving into our lower body. So we're going to start with some leg swings. Now, this is a bit of a tricky activity, so if you have a mat, I would recommend you not do it on the mat. But this exercise is going to be working on your balance as well as working on your hip flexors and extensors. So those are the muscles that help bring your legs up and back. Now let's switch to our other leg. For me, that's my left leg, and we're just going to be doing the same thing. Now with this exercise, it doesn't matter how high up or how far back you lift your leg, so long as you feel that stretch. I'm feeling mine in my quad, and the higher I go, I feel a bit in my hamstring underneath, but this stretch is whatever you make it. And If you're having difficulty balancing, my suggestion is to just grab an object on the side and hold on to it. That way you're focusing on your legs and not focusing on standing up. Now we've switched it up and we're now doing some lateral leg swings. So these are going to be working our hip abductors and our hip adductors. Another way to do this, if your balance is not as great as mine, what you can do is you can actually do some toe taps and just cross over just like this. So I'm going to finish up my right leg with some toe taps, and then in a second I'm going to switch and I'm going to do the same thing on my left leg. In 3, 2, and 1. So now we're going to be doing some lateral swings or some toe taps if you prefer, and we'll just be doing this for about, I would say, a count of 15. So let's just count down. See, I think I'm at 10, so we'll do 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So now that we've started to work out our legs, we're going to switch into an exercise that I call the bird feeder. So from the side, we'll be taking one of our legs, and we'll be sticking it out in front of us with our toes to the sky, and we're going to be bending our other knee, and we're just going to be going down and doing a bit of a sweep. Now this stretch is really to work your calf muscles right here, so it's a great stretch if you just bring your body down and kind of let that flow. Now for some people, you'll feel the stretch a bit sooner, and others you'll need to go a bit further down. But let's go ahead and switch to our other leg. So again, toes to the sky. We're making sure we're keeping our back straight during this exercise. We don't want any rounding of the shoulders. And we're going to be doing that same thing. Let's all try and do 10 in. And feel free to complete these at your own pace. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now I'm going to take a breather to catch up because wearing a mask and working out, it is quite new to me. So again, feel free to be drinking water during this time. I got my water bottle down over there. But let's also take some deep breaths. Really make sure your muscles are getting all the oxygen that they need. So I'm just going to take a minute. And we are now going to move on to our next exercise. And I believe we are doing open gates. So this is going to be an exercise that again will work our hip abductors and our adductors. But this was an exercise I started doing, I think, when I played softball in middle school. But we're going to be taking our leg up and we're just going to be opening the gate. Now I like to take my hand and I like to guide it while doing this. But what we're going to be doing is we're going to be opening the gate with our abductors, and we'll be closing the gate with our adductors. There we go. So I like to alternate by opening the gate and closing the gate and switching legs. But let's all try and do 10 with each leg, opening and closing. Now again, for those of you that would like some support, always feel free to grab onto. In my room, I like to do a bedpost, but a chair will work, anything to help keep your balance. Now we got about 3 more of these, and then we will transition into everyone's favorite, some lunges. All right, and 1. All right, now for our lunges, we're going to be doing them in a pivot fashion. So we're going to be going out in front of us, to the side, behind us, and out to the other side, making a full circle. So let's just get into it. Now for this one, I'm making that 90-degree angle with my front leg, and I'm making a big lunge with my back leg. Now for me, and for everyone completing lunges, it's always good to have a neutral spine. And so by that, I mean that your head is sitting atop your shoulders and your back is straight. So when you're going into the lunges, you're not leaning, you're not going forward or backwards. You're just keeping your body straight up and your legs are the only thing that's moving. Now let's finish the circle and go around one more time, and then we'll be transitioning into mountain climbers. Alrighty. Now before we move into mountain climbers, let's all take a break and let's just shake out our muscles. So I like to shake up top, shake down, and I like to just shake out my legs too. Holy cow. Whew. This is difficult. Alright, mountain climbers. So we're now going to be getting onto a tabletop position, just like this. And we're going to be going up, just like this. So we're getting ready to start running around the track. Now at this exercise, whew, oh my god. In this exercise, we're going to be running. Now, if you've done mountain climbers in the past and you really like them and are looking for a way to spice them up, I would try running, but bringing your knees out to the side of you. Now with those, you're starting to work your obliques or the muscles on your sides. Now for people that have not done too many mountain climbers and are not really interested in the cardio, you can always take your feet and pedal them just like this. And this is going to get some extra calf strength. But for me, I like to run, really bring up my knees, and work my quads. So let's do about 30 seconds of mountain climbers, and then we will transition. Alright, I'm going to take a quick water break. Feel free to do that yourself. Because our next exercise is push-ups. So we're going to be grinding out 5 push-ups. Now if you've done push-ups in the past, I encourage you and I challenge you to try something new. So today we'll be doing either a combination of wide push-ups or just some narrow tricep push-ups. But these ones you have the option to go up on your feet or go down on your knees. When I go down on my knees, I like to cross my ankles. It helps with my balance and it makes sure my legs aren't doing anything weird while I do the push-up. Let's go ahead and let's get 10 of them in. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And remember that you're keeping your back straight and not letting it drop, and not letting it rise. And 10. Whew. Now after push-ups, we're going to be going into a stretch called downward dog. And this one is quite similar to the mountain climbers that we just did. So we'll be getting in a similar position, going up almost into a mountain-like pose. But with this exercise, you need to make sure that you're keeping your back straight. And for this stretch, you'll really be feeling it in your upper back and in your calves and a little bit in your hamstring, depending on how far back you go. But let's hold this stretch for about 10 seconds. Alrighty. And let's now go up on our knees, and we are going to transition into child's pose. Now this stretch is really good for your back, specifically your erector spinae, and we'll be adding some spice to it, so we'll also be working our lats on the side and stuff like that. So let's just get into it. So I like to sit with my feet right out beside me, and I kind of just like to slowly work my way forward. Really until I feel that stretch. or until my forehead is just above the ground. Now with this exercise, you want to make sure that your head is not looking up, but you're keeping it in a nice neutral position. And let's all take some deep breaths. Really catch our breath. And let's now take our fingers, and I'm going to take my right arm, and I'm just going to go and walk it over my left arm. I'm going to feel the stretch on my right side. And I'm going to hold that for about 7 seconds. And I'm just going to walk that back over. And now with my left arm, I'm going to walk that over. And I'm going to feel that stretch on my left. Alrighty. Now for the last bit of this warm-up, we are going to be in a supinated position, so we'll be on our back. And I'm grabbing a hoodie, because for this next exercise, I like some support under my neck. If you don't have a hoodie, feel free to use a towel. If you have a pillow nearby, I would recommend grabbing that. But I will also demonstrate how to use your arm for it. But this next exercise is called open book. And this one will be stretching out your chest and your upper body. So let's all lay on our backs, and we're going to pick up our right leg, and we're going to cross it over our left. Now once we've done that, we're going to take both arms, and we're going to put them on the same side of our right leg. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be opening the book. So with these, our hands and arms are representing the pages. So we're going to slowly read and open the book. And I like to follow my hand with my head. So we're now closing the book. Now at your own pace, let's go ahead and open and close the book about 4 more times. And we want to make sure that our back is straight during this exercise and that your knee is not coming off the ground. You know you've gone too far when you're starting to feel your knee pick up. Alright, and I have just about finished reading this book, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sit up, and I'm going to be doing this now with my other legs on the other side of my body. So instead, I will now be taking my left leg and crossing it over my right leg. So I'm going to do that. And let's all complete five open books. All right, I have about 3 more. All right, and 1. I'm now going to stay on my back, and I'm going to bring both of my knees up just like this. I'd say around a 45-30 degree angle. And I'm going to be putting my hands right beside me, getting rid of my pillow, and we're going to be doing some penguins. So with this exercise, it's going to be working our obliques and our transverse abdominals, but we're going to be taking our body and wiggling side to side. And it's called a penguin because you kind of look like a penguin. But we're going to lean to our right, and we're just going to slide our hands, I'd say about 3-4 inches forward. And we're just going to keep going back and forth like this. I like to bring my head slightly off the ground, and I like to make sure that my core is activated. And I'm going to get in about 20 of these. Now with penguins, you can go as fast or as slow as you'd like. Sometimes going slower gives you a more controlled exercise, but either of them, you will feel them in your core. All right, I got about 10 more of these. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Next, I'm just going to sit up, grab another sip of water, and we'll be switching into some pelvic raises. So with this exercise, we're going into the same position that we were with the penguins, and we're going to be lifting our pelvis or our hips off of the ground. So with this exercise, the most important piece is to make sure that your core is tightened before you lift your hips up. So I'm going to activate my core, and I'm going to slowly push off the ground. Now, when doing this exercise, you want to make sure that your core is activated on the way up and on the way down. But this exercise will be working your core, and it will also be working your glutes. So let's all get 7 of these in. 6. And for those of you that would like a bit more of a challenge, I challenge you to try and lift up one of your legs and do this pelvic raise. Then you'll really feel it on the leg that is on the ground. Well, let's get about 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Now that is going to culminate the ground workout. So let's all get back up. And we're just going to finish this warm up with some jumping jacks. Now if you're looking for a lower impact jumping jack, feel free to just step out just like this. Now because I love the tried and true jumping jacks, I'm just going to grind out 45 seconds worth of jumping jacks. Now as we finish this workout, let's see if we can get a bit faster and faster. Really get our heart rate going, and let's finish with some cardio. Alright, we got 30 more seconds. 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Thank you everyone for joining me, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your workout.